evening, good afternoon. We done missed the video and everything. So we are live here today. Today has been a really busy and hectic day. Actually, this week has been a very busy and hectic day. So if the camera is not lined up the way we wanted and needed to be, y'all, boy, I tell you, I keep doing the YouTube for the ring and it keeps going to our ministry page. I don't know what's going on with that. We are waiting for Bishop to join us, and we're gonna tune in and we're gonna get things up and rolling in just one moment. So we are running behind schedule and we had to reschedule from yesterday to today. But we are excited as always to just share some different things that will help out in our marriages. Yay! So, how y'all doing? Let me see if we got anybody logged in yet. Are y'all coming? Are y'all coming? I know this is not our regular day and our regular scheduled time. Hello, my friend. How are you? How are you? So glad to see you. So glad that you are joining us on this evening. We are just making it in, y'all. We are just making it in, but we are trying to be consistent. Even though we had to reschedule, we are trying to be consistent. All right, so just continuing to give Bishop a few minutes. You know, y'all, he come in live and popping and blowing out my eardrums. So, how was your day today? Did we have a good day today? Did we have a good evening? Listen, I'm going to try and share this information. Yay. Let me try to share. Share. And if you are joining us, will you please like and share our page so that you can join in with conversations, so that you can tune in and ask questions. We love questions. All right, let me see if I know what I'm doing here. It says share now. No, I'm gonna send it through Messenger and I'm gonna start sharing. It say account switch failed. I don't know what that is. So here he is, y'all. You didn't close the door, baby. Here he is.
Oh man, we are like really live.
Amazing, wonderful, adorable.
That would be me.
Yes, you are, baby.
That would be me.
You are all of that.
All right. So I am looking into, hey everybody. Hello everybody. Hello. Sister.
Are you being good? Can you scoot over a little bit? Y'all don't judge us by our lamp. I was trying to get some light in here today. We was rushing, trying to make it happen. You want to come over? You cut off a little bit. Your shoulder over there. It don't matter.
Yeah, we might be fine for the night. We might be fine.
You don't like me to
tell you. All right. She whispering and everything. I'm ready to kind of just get this thing.
I told y'all he be live.
Get this thing going. Thing going. So are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. I was just trying to.
Did you open us up in prayer?
Anything.
Oh man, now how you gonna open us up and not even pray?
I was just trying to give you some time.
I believe
I can fly.
That the saints of God should always pray. So she should be praying right now.
I believe I can.
But let me get to my notes because
think about
I got something for everybody. Before I even play the music, because I want to make sure we save for tonight. Let me go ahead and go into a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this opportunity, Lord. God, to be before your people, to be before couples and singles, oh God, to give this enrichment, to give this empowerment, the things that you have laid in our hearts. We want to be a blessing to your people. I pray right now, God, that you would open up every ear that might be able to hear. Give us rich nuggets, oh God, that we might be able to live, and not just to live, God, but to live a free, abundant, healthy, wealthy, and prosperous life. We thank you for everything that shall be said and done. We claim victory right now in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen. Amen. All right, so here we go. Who wants to know? I need to calm down a little bit.
No, baby, you do you.
I'm doing good. So I'm gonna be me.
Be you.
I'm gonna be me. And
you be you, and I'm gonna be me.
If y'all know the title of this song. The word, not the words. I don't want y'all to give me the word, but if y'all know the title. All right, so if y'all know the title of this song, the first one that gives me the title will be the first one to give me. Now, I probably shouldn't be giving out prizes for this particular song right here, but if you know it, somebody to give me. It's just the instrumental rather. That's a lot. What? I mean, if they know it. If they know it, they know it.
And if they don't, they don't.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna since y'all blew that, I'm gonna talk with it in the background. How about that? And for anybody that catches this on the rerun, just give us the title of the song. I can't guarantee no promises. All right, can't give no promises to the title if you gave me the title, but let's just see if y'all know it. All right, so now I got to give you the title. So you missed it. You missed the opportunity. All right, so the title to this song is Turn Off the Lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little bit different for all of y'all that know the song, for all of you guys that know the words. It's not necessarily the direction in which we want to go tonight, but
my sister said must be way back. She don't even know it.
Oh, well, she missed it. I know she know this one. She gotta know this one.
You just turned it back on.
Well, I'm trying to give them an opportunity. So it is a way back. It's Turn Off the Lights. Now, I gave it to you. You know it. Teddy P, the one and only Reverend L. No, not L, but the one and only Teddy Pendergrass. So this is what we're gonna do, y'all. In all seriousness, I want to give you guys some nuggets tonight on how to turn off the light. Turn off the lights to certain things in relationship. We want to learn tonight on learning how to forgive and to forget. Learning how to forgive and to forget. Close the front door. All right, learning how to forgive and to forget. This is what I want to do. Number one, when within a relationship, within any relationship, as a matter of fact, there are things that come across in our lives. There are things that come across, whether we're couples, whether we're singles, whether we are co-workers, whether we are whatever. There are things that we have to deal with. And so the key thing is that I want to focus on tonight is forgiveness. How to follow steps to forgiveness and how to forgive and to forget. Now there are a couple things. Let me let Minister Teddy come down a little bit. There's some things I want to give to you tonight. So number one, when it comes down to forgiving and forgetting, one of the things that we gotta know is that we have made a choice to be life partners. We have made a choice to be life partners. And what that simply means is that we're choosing to remain together for the rest of our lives, whether it be one or whether it be both. We're choosing to be together for the rest of our lives. But in any relationship, we got to learn how to forgive and to forget. There's a couple things I want to deal with tonight. Addressing the issue. Because sometimes when we are in relationships, we try to walk around things, we try to walk over things, we try to skirt across, what the heart of the matter is. And so for the first thing that you have to do is to address the issue. Number two, after addressing the issue, is to deal with the facts of whatever it is that has brought you apart, whatever it is that has created this rift, this whatever within your marriage. So you gotta address the issues and face the fact. Well, it almost sounds like it's the same thing when you're saying addressing the issues and facing the facts. Really, what they really are is two separate things. When you address an issue, that's just saying that, hey, we're going to talk about what's going on. Mm-hmm. But now when you deal with the facts are what it is that brought us to this moment. And not only are we going to just deal with the basics of what's around it, let's deal with the facts, let's deal with the heart of the matter, or otherwise, if we don't deal with the heart of the matter, eventually we're going to end up circling right back around to where we started. So many times couples get together, so many times friends get together, and whatever it is that has created this rift in your marriage, in your relationship, nobody wants to deal with the facts all the time. So let's deal with the heart of the matter. Let's deal with the root of the matter and how we got to this place in the first place. All right. So now I got to tell you this. Number one, in marriage, you don't get the option to whether or not you can or cannot deal with the facts. But when we come down to friends or when it comes down to co-workers or associates, we have choices in the matter. We have a choice whether we're going to accept this baggage and end this relationship, know the baggage, know the facts, and still deal with it within the relationship, or we learn to make amends, deal with the facts, and simply say, hey, this is the problem, this is the issue, and I'm going to go my separate way, and we're going to be cool. Maybe we can't kick it like we used to kick it, but we're going to be cool. But in a marriage, you don't get those options. You don't get the options. So let's talk about facing the facts. I want to ask you a question before we go on to anybody else. When it comes down to real couple issues, what do you think the number one thing is why people really don't want to deal with the facts?
I think confrontation is difficult, right? Especially if it's matters of the heart. I think And I think in any situation, right, even on your job, when you're dealing with things on your job, when you're dealing with your loved ones, and when there's topics that are hard to discuss and you feel like you have to confront the situation and you don't know how the other person's going to take it or how they're going to receive it, how they're going to respond, if they're going to accept it or not, I think it just makes it difficult. So,
well, yeah. All right. So I'm going to go with that phrase, confrontational. That's your word. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it. Confrontational. Not everybody really wants to deal with rough situations because it can be confrontational. But the reality of it is this is where you are. This is where I am. Either I can get with it or I can. Again, now, marriages, you ain't got that kind of options. You don't have that. That's not available to you. You got to find a way to work around it. You got to find a way to deal with it. You got to find a way to overcome. You got to find a way to mend things together. So marriages, you don't have that option. Now, if you're dating and you have the potential for this husband or this future wife to be, so I say you got to deal with some issues, and then you say, hey, I remember there was this one show, Baggage, and everybody presents their different baggage. Sometimes first thing you do, you present this little bit of baggage.
Right.
Say, all right, well, can you deal with this or not? Say, all right, I can deal with that. I can handle that. You know, I'm ready to move forward. All right, the next time you bring out a bigger bag and say, all right, well, hey, that one right there, I ain't really sure about it. You know, this right here could hold us up, but let's see if we can work around it. But then 3 or 4, I mean, they're really big, not just baggage, those big suitcases.
Right.
Now, when you're in the position where you are looking for a future wife or a future husband, now you can look at that big baggage and say, hey, well, no, I like you. You know, we really got along real good, but this particular issue, I can't deal with. Now, what happens with couples, what happens with marriages is we don't push that thing forward. We don't present that thing forward and say, hey, listen, let's sit this thing out on the dinner table. This is going to affect our marriage. This is going to affect our relationship. We're not going to just let this thing sit back in the back, because anything that you sit back in the back will eventually raise its head. And so you got to deal with that thing. You got to address it. I don't care how confrontational it is, you are going to have to address hard situations in relationships. All right. So what are some issues that affect couples? You go as big as you want. What are just give me some examples of issues that affect couples.
So I think at the end of the day, right, I think most couples struggle with the love languages.
All right.
Right. Understanding.
That's a big one for her, y'all. These love languages.
I think that's a big one for everybody. I don't think it's just for me. I think it's for men too.
It's big for everybody. But when you first introduced that to us, I mean, like, you had a thing about, you know, let's write this out. Let's write this down. What should it is? What should I mean? Listen, we got it down pat right now. But when she first discovered it, rather, you know, like, it was a thing. I just want to do that.
So I think with everyone, we have this perception of how we want to love each other, right? We have the thought process of what we want to do, how we want to make each other feel, and what that looks like. And usually it's based upon what you like. It's not generally based upon what the other person likes, what the other person desires, and what their needs are. It's kind of like, you know, you give your clothes away. You know how when you give your clothes away, or if you see something in the store and you say, oh, I'm gonna buy this for so and so, but usually when you purchase something, you don't have their style in mind. You have your style in mind and what you feel like they would look good in according to your perception and what you think. But it's not about what they like or what their style is. It's the same concept. So I think some of the struggle in our marriage when it comes to communication and just being able to understand. And some of the things that we struggle with is that you try to love me based upon how you want to be loved, and how you want to be loved may not look the same as it does for me. So I think that's something that we have to definitely begin to communicate, something that we definitely have to work through. There's some people who love gifts. Gifts might not be, the other person's thing, but that's their love language. For you to show that you love and appreciate them, they want you to buy them gifts. It could be words of affirmation. Some people, they very confident. Maybe they feel like they don't need your words of affirmation because they're already confident. They know who they are. I think we all need that to some degree, but we have to learn how to love each other the way we desire to be loved, and to express that in a way and not the way we want. Now express it and address it.
Right. Now that's good. That's good. But I want to dig a little bit deeper tonight, just to give someone some real help. That was good. Don't get me wrong. That was good. So learning how to forgive and forget, addressing issues. Let's talk about infidelity. Let's talk about some big ones. Let's talk about infidelity. Let's talk about physical abuse. I mean, let's get a little bit heavier tonight. Facing the facts. One of the things that people try not to do, or people work around, when it comes down to any healing process, the healing process begins when we face the facts. All right? Mm-hmm. The healing process begins when we address the issue. Mm-hmm. Now, let's just say infidelity, because what happens is sometimes a person, a husband or a wife, could commit a thing, and maybe they're even godly or sorrowful about what it is that has happened, mm-hmm. but they really don't want to talk about it. They want to sweep it under the rug and move forward. And moving forward is good. But if you don't address the issue, and if you don't face the facts, then we're moving forward. But this thing has to be talked about.
Right.
This thing has to be shared. Both parties need to give everything that they have, say everything that they need to say about the situation. Let's deal with it. And in fact, you can't even move forward until the both of you has addressed every part of the issue that you need to be addressed. You got something?
Yeah, because that's definitely, now that goes back to the confrontation, right? Because the truth hurts. Mm-hmm. So if we're talking about infidelity and we're talking about being able to be open and honest, then that means what brought us to this place, what brought us to this point, what brought us to this position. Mm-hmm. And sometimes now you have people that just deal with the spirit of lust, and so they just struggle in that area. But there are those times where, things are not working out, the way you want it to work out. Again, we can go back to love languages, because you ain't loving me the way I want to be loved. And maybe, you're seeing, and somebody else, out there is showing you the thing that you desire. You have to be willing to come together with your spouse and deal with those truths. And sometimes being honest to say, listen, you ain't doing this. I don't feel like, I'm getting this from you.
Those were all the things that happened, or that didn't happen rather, before the incident or incidents. Those were all the things that didn't happen.
Just the fact of addressing it after the fact that infidelity has occurred. Okay. I thought that's what you were saying, after the fact that an infidelity has occurred.
Yes, after, right.
You have to be able to come to that person and say, listen, and those truths are sometimes difficult to hear.
Oh, you mean just confessing the fact that?
Yeah, to talk about it, to be open about it.
To talk about it or to confess. Which part are you on?
Well, which one are we talking about?
Well, you got to first acknowledge the fact that this has happened.
At this point, I'm assuming that the person already knows that infidelity has taken place.
Okay, we can go from there.
All right. If infidelity has already taken place and you're trying to have that conversation, because you was talking about just moving on. Sometimes you just want to sweep things under the rug and just move on. But that sweeping under the rug is the place and the point where if you're discussing it, it's hard truths. Right. That's that confrontation about, I don't really want to tell you because I know it's going to hurt you. I don't really want to say whatever because, I'm afraid. I really, at the end of the day, I love you and I don't want you to be hurt. So that conversation can be very difficult. So it goes on both ways, that you have to be open to hear it, but that person who has committed the infidelity also has to be open and willing to allow you to express their hurt and how they feel, and to be patient to allow you the sorrow, the words of anger, the words of expression, and whatever that expression is, they have to be willing and open to allow you that space to deal with it.
Right. So you have infidelity. Sister Strong, I know she has right down here mental abuse, and we could deal with not just mental abuse, but also physical abuse, because a lot of times we might have a loved one that says, I'm sorry, this ain't our situation, but I'm sorry, Pastor Pritchard, I'm sorry, Nicole, this got the best of me, and I end up, hitting you or whatever. We had words and it turned into something that it shouldn't have turned into. And I said, okay, well, I'm sorry for this, and I won't let it happen again. Well, even in that case, sometimes we want to sweep things under the rug and just deal with the I'm sorry piece, but the I'm sorry piece is just a part of it. Because anytime there's physical abuse or any type of abuse, I could be hit, and then the next time we get into a situation that's like that or near that, it's almost like PTSD. If this thing hasn't been dealt with and it hasn't been spoken to, the next time something like this even comes close to happening, I'm going to remember what it was that happened to it. But we got to address it. We got to deal with the heart of the matter. We got to address everything that has gone down, no matter how confrontational it is. And when we're talking about confrontational, right now we're talking about just not being afraid to talk about certain things. And I know some of these things, I know we're talking about them, and God knows that it's not a light subject, it's not a light situation.
Yeah, these are like individual topics that we could really dig deep into.
Right.
We're kind of just brushing the surface.
We're just brushing the surface rather. And let me put this out here. Yes, this is our blog. This is our ring discussion. And I just want to throw this out there. If you are going through any situations like this and you feel overcome and you feel overshadowed with anguish, with torment, with whatever feelings that you may face, then I would recommend that you see a health professional to get you through those hard moments. What we're doing tonight is we're just bringing light to certain facts and just to get you to your day-to-day living. Sometimes, we go through work, we go through friends, activity, we're having outings, and we're suffering within. We're still dealing with some inward pain, and maybe you haven't made that decision to go seek some sort of health professional, but you're sitting at home and you're dealing with your problem. You, your husband, your spouse, your loved one, whoever, you're dealing with that issue internally, but it has not gotten to a place to where we put this thing out on the table and we address the facts. So I said addressing the issues and facing the facts. And again, I'm just going to use her words, no matter how confrontational. I'm not talking about physical confrontation. Right. I'm talking about just the hard awkward feeling of this needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
That we can't just sweep this thing under the rug. That's even a better word. That it cannot be ignored.
Yeah.
It has to be addressed. So we're talking about addressing the issue. We're talking about facing the facts. And really, this is where we came. This is where I got, the title about turning off the lights. Really what I want to talk about after you dealt with the facts is to resolve the issues. How do we get to a place of resolution? How do we get to a place to where we are ready to move on? And so addressing the issues and dealing with the facts is going to get you on that road. But then there's also some steps behind it. And we have to remember that in order for us to turn off the lights, first thing I wrote was light a candle. Mm-hmm. All right, so we know the words of the song. Light a candle. What I meant by lighting a candle, that's bringing things into a positive light. Restoring some of the trust that has been lost. Restoring some of the love that has been lost.
Yes.
Restoring some of the hard places, some intimate feelings. Now we have to light this candle. We got to get this fire burning back again.
Fire burning.
We got to get this thing back to the place it was in the beginning. And so there's some steps that we have to do to go through. I want you to guess just a couple. Give me a couple of steps and I'm going to give you mine. Give me a couple of steps that we can go through to renew things again.
Well, first we have to reestablish trust.
All right.
We have to reestablish trust. That means...
She in my notes, y'all, but she doing good.
That means whatever it is that has caused the trust to be broken, that will satisfy your spouse, you need to do it within the means of normalcy. Mm-hmm. You need to do it. So if that means checking your phone, if that means what else,
holding yourself accountable to your time.
Holding you accountable to your time. Want you to share your location. They want you to call. They want you to call them, or they want to be able to call you and check in and make sure. Hey, you do what's necessary to reestablish the trust.
And before I go on, and if it's physical or mental abuse,
praise the Lord,
I'll give you a good step. A good thing to do is to seek health professionals.
I was going to say counseling for sure.
So that's one way that I'll know you're for real about getting this thing resolved. That's one way I'll know you're for real about overcoming this issue, is to seek a health professional. Now it's like an alcoholic. All right, it's good to tell me that you're gonna stop drinking, mm-hmm. but it's even better for me to know when you go enroll yourself into a 5-step program.
Right. So reestablishing trust.
Reestablishing trust. So trust issue. Now she said something, and this is what I wrote down, and some of y'all may or may not be with this one, but establishing a probationary period. Mm. Now, I know you say, hey, listen, my sorry should be good enough. Well, that sounds good, but sorry ain't good enough all the time. Let's establish, let's reaffirm, let's get back trust again.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a healing process. Because
it's a healing process. This ain't a 1-step, 2-step deal. This is a process that has to go on. So the probation period is simply time to show that I can trust you again.
Yeah.
Time to show that I can trust you again. When you go to court and you face a court of law, either they lock you up or they place you on probation. Now, in this probation time,
come on,
you got an opportunity to prove that you are a good citizen again. When you have a probation time in your marriage, in your relationship, this is an opportunity to prove yourself, to prove your love all over again. You might say, well, my sorry should be good enough. No, ma'am. No, sir. You have to learn to reestablish the trust all over again. And I had to throw these big ones out there because I don't want to just skate around. Just, you said something bad to me. Don't get me wrong. If somebody says something negative and it blew up into something, then it could be a big thing. But if it is a small thing, let's address it. If it's a big thing, let's address it.
And you may have to say you're sorry 50 times. You may say, I've already said I'm sorry. I'm not saying it again. But if it takes you saying I'm sorry 50 times, what's wrong with that for the one that you love? Until they can feel it in their spirit, until they can come to a place where they really, feel that you are sincerely sorry. I don't think anything is wrong with you continuing to reassure them, of that. And it may be draining to you. It may be frustrating. But again, you're reestablishing trust and you're providing them, because you got to reestablish that safe place too. They no longer feel safe. So you got to reestablish that safe place.
So we use that phrase all the time. Can you give them, or do you want me to give? What's a safe place? What's that safe place?
Where, it goes back to the trust, a place where I feel secure with you, a place where I feel like you have my back, that I can count on you. Once you have broken that, there's an insecurity that has taken place now. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you have my best interest at heart here. So all of that has to be rebuilt and reestablished.
Okay, so just for the sake of time, let's give two more. And my next one, to light a candle, is to bring back the love. To bring back the love. Now, the initial responsible party that has to do the work in bringing back the love is the one who offended in the first place. Now, the other one could make steps to renew certain things again, but the offender has the responsibility to bring back the love. Do some of those things that you were doing all along when you got to that great place to where it brought you guys together. The offender has the responsibility to renew all trust again, to bring back the love, to show you that I am that person that you once loved, to show you that I am that person, the one that you chose to say I do to. I am that person. So bring back the love is to restart the flame again, to get the fire burning again.
Yeah.
So you got anything about bringing back the love before I get to my next one?
Bringing back the love. Bringing back the love. So going out of the way, right? For things that you know that they love, for things that you know that make them happy, for things that you know inspires them. You got to start going out of the way. So you may have been doing a good job with that, but now you got to go the extra mile. You got to go do a little bit more just to bring back that love. You may have done dinner dates or whatever, but now you got to be a little bit more creative and maybe make it a little bit more romantic. Or,
you had one candle, you might have to get 6 of them, 8 of them, 10 of them. Just going that extra mile, doing whatever it takes to bring back the love.
Yes.
The last one that I want to give out to you is how to light this candle is to renew the vows again. To renew the vows again. Some of us really need to renew the vows all over again. You got yourself into a bad place. Maybe that was anger. Maybe that was anger that was physical abuse. Maybe there's words that was mental abuse. Maybe there's infidelity. But now you got to renew the vows. We got to do some first works all over again. You know, I know the Bible says, you know, when it comes down to God, when it comes down to Christ, he's able to make all things new again. Well, listen, that old man has to die. And not only does that old man has to die, that old man needs to be proven that it's dead. So in order for us to renew this thing, in order for us to move on into our next place, to renew these vows, we got to start afresh. We got to start our first works all over again, doing what it takes to make it happen.
And don't let your first works be what your old works were. Right? You're reestablishing your.
I bet you can't say that again. Let me hear you say it.
Oh my gosh! Don't let your old works be what your new works. You got to catch me.
Don't let your first works be what your old works were. I remember what she said. It sounded good. Don't let your first works be, your old works be what your first works are. I just messed it up too. But that stuff that you did in the beginning, don't go back to that and try to make that, do that over again.
Because that didn't work.
No. Well, it might have worked in the beginning, but then it ran out of juice. And so now you need to recreate. You got to recreate all over again.
Yes.
You got to show to this person.
And you got to always be recreating.
You got to show this person all over again that the love is still there. And that you wholeheartedly want to win their trust all over again.
And you know what? Sometimes it's not even that you feel that the love is still there, but you have to feel that my marriage is worth reestablishing, rebuilding, right? Because sometimes that love ain't where we needed to be. Sometimes you don't feel like the love is there. So the job and the duty and the whole purpose is that you are rekindling that fire. You are doing things to rekindle the fire. The place where, you know, that brought you all to where you were in the beginning. Why did you say I do in the first place, right? So there are things that were established in the beginning, but now as you grow older, as things change in life, as you recreate, you have to be able to decide that this is worth saving, that this is worth fighting for. And in that, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to rekindle the fire.
So now, I had to bring the music back in because we're getting ready to come to a close, y'all. And it just sounded good. So now, let's deal with singles first. Again, singles, you have an opportunity to do something that marriage couples can't do. Singles, you have an opportunity to say, hey, listen, is this someone that I'm going to make my life partner? Is this a habit that I can deal with? Is this something this person is able to overcome? And I want to say this, y'all. What we do sometimes, we see people's baggages and bad habits. And sometimes you say, well, maybe that's just them. Well, the question is, if that's just them, can you deal with it for a lifetime? And so single people have the ability to do something that older people, that married people can't. Is you have an opportunity to say, hey, listen, maybe this is something that I'm not going to be able to live with. Maybe this is something I'm not going to be able to get over. Maybe this is an attribute. Maybe this is a habit. Maybe this is something that's just in that DNA. It's in the bloodline. Their mama cuss, their daddy cuss. Their brother been hit, their daddy been hit. I mean, you know certain traits. Hey, listen, where there's smoke, there's fire. You got an opportunity to look at some things. But as couples now, what are you willing to do to save your marriage?
Yes, don't ignore it.
What are you willing to do to get the fire going again? And some of us have dealt with some small issues. Some of us have dealt with some big issues. But we all have to figure out how we're going to turn off the lights and how we're going to turn on the lights. It's time for us to start anew, to start afresh. Listen, we're getting ready to get out of here, y'all. But what I want to share with you is this. God is faithful. God is able. He's able to do what it is, whatever it is that you desire him to do. All you got to do is trust and believe. Today we dealt with some hard things. Today we dealt with some hard facts. And maybe you're going through some of those hard issues right now. I want to say, first of all, if you are in an unsafe place, get yourself to a place of safety. Get yourself to a place to where you can breathe again and you can live again. Get yourself to a safe place. If it's a hotel room, doing whatever it takes to get out of that volatile situation. And if you're not there, maybe it's just at a place to where we need to seek some counsel. Definitely. To get some help that we need. Some health professionals. Something that the ring not going to be able to do in an hour.
Right.
I would advise you to do that. And for those that truly desire to have their marriage fresh, brand new, all over again, God is faithful. God is able, and no matter what situation that you're going through, we can testify that God is faithful, that God is able. We ain't just talking from the top of our dome. We're talking from a place of deliverance that God has brought us through. We are going to celebrate 29 years. And listen, you don't get to